السلام عليكم. شكرا يا دكتور على التقديم. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank our dean for taking part of his time and present and open this event. Let me start quickly without further ado and introduce our key speaker, Professor Munira Al-Azraqi. She is from University Imam Faisal from the BAM. Now, this is not the first visit for Dr. Munira to KSU. She's been here with us before, and she's a well-known linguist on a national and international level. She's mainly concerned with examining Arabic language, specifically Saudi dialects in connection with theoretical linguistics, languages and research. So there is one thing I would like to say about Dr. Munira. Dr. Munira was actually a graduate, if you don't know, of KSU, actually from our department, English department and literature. And so I can say she's coming back home, and she's most welcome. لو سمحتي دكتورة please.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. شكرا لكم على الدعوة. شكرا سعادة العميد ووكيل الكلية ورئيس القسم ووكيلة القسم ورئيسة لجنة تنظيم هذا الملتقى. Thank you very much. I'm so glad to be with you for the next time. I've been here last year or 2 years ago. We talked about Mehri language, documenting Mehri language. Today we are not going to talk about Mehri language. No, we are still talking about language in contact, but it's Pidginization. So we'll talk about Pidginization in Saudi Arabia, pathways to multifunctionality. I will give brief introduction about Pidgins. Maybe we have some ideas about Pidginization, but I'll give some background about it. Then we'll talk about the Pidgin studies in the West, also Pidgin studies in Arabian Gulf, and I'm going to talk about my main study, which is multifunctionality in Pidgins. At the end, we'll give a short conclusion. In linguistics, a pidgin is a simplified form of speech. It's formed out of one or more existing language, and as used, it's usually used as a lingua franca by people who have no other language. If we define it in linguistics, it is a form that is a form of language that is developed by a group of people who have different native language, and they have to communicate with each other, and because of this means they create a new form. This form is a new one, and it has features from all of their language, but a master language will be a lexifier for this form. This form of language we call it Pidgin. The term Pidgin first actually appeared in print. It was in the 18th century when the linguists started to talk about Pidgin as a form of language. They think that the term itself came from mispronunciation, Chinese mispronunciation of business. So Pidgin maybe came because of business communication between people of different mother language. If we look at the pidgin in the world, at pigeons in the world, we will see most of them are European languages based. So you can have English, Spanish, French, German, Dutch, Portuguese, German, Italian based language for these pigeons. Not all pigeons, but most of pigeons. Of course, linguists look at pigeons in different dimensions. Let's say some at the beginning, some linguists see it that it is a weak form. It cannot be considered as language. It's just used to ease communication for a short time. On the other hand, other linguists, and I'm with one of them, I see it's a good chance to look at pidgin because it tells us many things about theories of language acquisition, about theories of how human beings create their language, theories about language process, and theories about what human beings need in order to communicate in the language. Do we need all what we have in our language? So studying pigeons tells us what people need, the first need in their communication. So it's very interesting, it's very important, it's treasure before us to know many theories, to test many theories we know about language. If the pidgin became a native language, it moves to another stage. We call it Creole. So we have pidgin, then Creole. After Creole, we have post-Creole. In pigeons, we have the lexifiers. Lexifier is the dominant language. It's the base language. And we have substrate. Substrate are the different languages which are the mother language of the different speakers. So now it's clear now what's the meaning of pigeons. Okay, why do pigeons evolve? What happened? Why do we have a pigeon? We said because people came together, they have different languages, they need lingua franca to communicate. With the time, they create pigeon. But in what situation? The first one actually labors on plantation. It started in the 17th century when the Europeans started to have or to colonize the island in Caribbean, and they needed to have farms there to plant cotton, sugar. They needed manpower, and they started to hire people from Europe and from Africa. A lot of them came from Africa for plants, to work as farmers. And they came from different backgrounds. They have different languages. When they come to work on those farms, with years they created pigeons. So we have different pigeons in the Caribbean. Till now, these pigeons are still used there in the Caribbean. We have English-based Caribbean pigeons. We have French-based Caribbean pigeons there. We have also Spanish, Portuguese. So this is one reason of creating pigeons. The other reason, the coastal language trade, as we say, it's related to business, pigeon business. So it's not only because of the laborers who moved from their country, it also happens in their country. So we see in the West Africa, we can find pigeons. We see in the Pacific, we can find a lot of pigeons because of the trade. So it's coastal. We see on the coast, in the oceans, because people need to communicate with each other. Because of business, there is no need to learn the language officially, so they easily create pigeon and use it. The third reason, mass migration. When it happened in the history, mass migration for a lot of people, they leave their country, they will create pigeon. So these are the main three reasons that cause making pigeon. This is one map. It's clear. You can see it. These are the pigeons used in the world, and the colors is because of the base language. We see English base language. We see French. We see Austrian. We see even Arabic. Arabic can be a base language for the pigeon. And if you can notice, it's on the coast. They are on the coast. You see. And look at this, most of them are in the Caribbean. And that was the beginning of making the pigeon, making pigeons. Also we see on the west of Africa, and we see also on the Pacific. A lot of pigeons are used there. Most of them used in islands or on the coast because it's communication. People go, do trade, do business, and they then go back. How they can communicate? Making pigeons. Okay. The life of pigeons. So if you see, yes, people use it, so how long this pigeon will last? So some of them is just used for a short time, and when people do not need it, just disappear, just like that. That's why some people say that it doesn't even deserve to be studied. Okay? Example for that, it happens also in the Second War. After the French leave Vietnam, they used to have pigeon. When they left Vietnam, that pigeon disappeared. Also between Russian and Chinese, the pigeon disappeared when there is no need. The second way, actually, of pigeon, when it lived, the pigeon lives for a long time, maybe for 1 century, 2 centuries. Then after that, the people decide to stop with that pigeon and switch to another language. That stage, we call it died out. It's not just disappeared, died, because it was living used for a long time, then decide. That happened in the, maybe if you have heard about it, the Chinglish. Chinglish, it was a pigeon used in China. It's a mix between Chinese and English, and it lasted for 2 centuries. In the 19th century, China decided to switch to English and stop using the Chinglish. So here it died out. The third one, when the pigeon develops to be a creole and to be native language for its speakers, sometimes official language, and used in parliament, used in newspaper, taught in schools. So pigeon, as a human being, can grow up to be a standard language. That's why I said studying pigeons is very important to see how language develops. We spend our time studying our languages, but we don't know how they started. We have theories about the origin of language, how languages started, and you know, it's been abandoned not to publish any paper about origin of language till recently, because it's a vague question. If we study the pigeons, we can see how they improve. We can see what are the features we need as a human being to communicate. Also theories about language acquisitions. Examples of pigeon that became language, like Tukpisen. There are so many examples of pigeons. Here are examples of pigeons, English-based pigeons. There are so many pigeons still used till now. Example also of pigeon like Tukpisen. Tukpisen is recently people on Papua New Guinea decided to use it as their official language, along with another language like Hiromoto. In this area, they have so many pigeons, and some of them developed, like Tukpisen. If you just Google Tukpisen, you will see a very interesting history about this pigeon. Also, Hiromoto, also it's another pigeon used at that area. So, research on pigeon and creole. What kind of research linguists do on pigeon and creole? I must say that the study is not that many about pigeon, because people look at it in different way. But there are serious studies recently, like what I found here. It's the Atlas of Pidgin and Creole Language Section. It's very interesting. It's an atlas. It is released in 2013. It has many editors. They worked on collecting all the information about pigeons used in the world. It's huge work. This is it. This is the atlas. It's printed atlas with 130 maps. They show us in this atlas the geographical distribution of pigeons now used in the world. And they explain the linguistic feature of each one in details. So they have to travel from place to place. Also, they have survey volumes other than the atlas. And each chapter gives actually a concise outline of the structure and socio-historical and socio-linguistics details of every contact language. It is in 864 pages. Again, this is available. We can see it. We can buy it over Amazon, wherever. They also provide they have a site, and they serve actually. They show us those pigeons, and they give us all the details. They have it. It's very interesting. This is example of what they have. They show us the map of each pigeon, and they show us the linguistics feature, the linguistic feature they want us to know. They discuss it. So, for example, we have relative pronouns, relative particles, and gap, wherever. And they show also the overlap between them and the distribution of the linguistics feature among these pigeons. The interesting about studying pigeons that you see the universal features between them. You know, the universal theories about languages. Also with pigeons, how pigeons have similar features between them. This is very interesting. Although they are in different geographical places, although they have different base language, English, French, Arabic even, but they have similar feature or common feature. So they discuss it, they show us. It's very interesting. This is also another map. It shows the verb, the complement of verbs, very detailed information. This is also shows it shows us the base language with colors. Where are they? Okay. Also, we have ethnologue. You know ethnologue? Ethnologue, it's a site. Actually, they have they publish books and atlas and surveys, and they have a website. If you can use it, you will see all the language, all the details, all the information you need to know about any language used in the world. So they have also about pigeon. So they are, yes, respecting pigeon. You will see not all the pigeon, in fact, but you will see some of it. And they show us the level of endangerment. You see the pigeon Cameroon, it's in the, you see it's in the range that it is fine. But if you look at the pigeon Bantu, it's on the range of red that it is dying. So they show us that this language, it is in danger or it's working well, wherever. And this is the job of ethnologue, actually. Okay, also BBC, they provide from time to time channels. They have also a channel using Pidgin around in the West Africa. Also, we found apps using different pigeons. You will see it, so it's very interesting. What about social attitude? non-linguist people, how they look at pidgin. They look at it that it is what? Weak language, broken language, right? A form of language like funny language. You remember tash matash? We have, I will tell you now, what's the pidgin they use in tash matash to make fun, to make it, people look at it, have fun about it. So, what about pidgin in Arabian Peninsula? I always ask my students, my MA students, do we have pidgin in Saudi Arabia? Do we have pidgin in Gulf? Do we have pidgin in Arab world? Think with me. Do we? We have pidgin or we don't have? We have. Okay. Actually, I started, one of my research, I started at 2008, started to think about pidgin. Do we have pidgin in Saudi Arabia? I found a research written by Smart. And Smart, actually, he is the first one who wrote about a form in the Gulf, and he assumed that it is a pidgin. He said that actually his data based, it wasn't natural data, his data based on cartoon comics. So it's a written one. And he assumed that this could be a pidgin. Well, Tringsbill here, also visual, it's not published article. I found it at that time on the web, but I'm not sure it's still there. But we have Nas, it is an MA dissertation, and she presented a good work about a form. She assumed that it is a pidgin, and her data collected from the Emirates and from area from Oman. They call it Gulf Pidgin or Gulf Arabic Pidgin. I did my study, the first one, and it was on a pidgin used in Al-Ahsan. And I looked at the word order and the differences between that pidgin and the Gulf Arabic. So what's the pidgin? Pidgin is the language which is used between Arabic speakers, we, and the people who came to work here, who came from India, from Philippines, from Indonesia, from Bangladesh, from different Asian countries. They have different languages. When they come, we don't teach them Arabic. We don't ask them to go to school and learn Arabic. No. They start working with us, and they use a form of language. That form of language is not Arabic. It is a pidgin. Arabic is the lexifier. Most of the feature of that form is Arabic. The lexifier is the dominant language. But they have feature from their language. Those features from those different languages, they form the pidgin. You will say, no, it's not a form language. They are learning Arabic. It's broken Arabic. Well, it is a pidgin. It's the same process of pidgin that happened in Caribbean, in West Africa, in the Pacific Islands. It is. And how long it's used? It started actually since we started to have different people, non-Arabs, to come to work here. I published this study, and I realized that it gets high citation. Last year, I decided to go back and do another study. I want to see those people who cited this work. I found many studies, believe it or not. All these work actually studied this pidgin and admitted that it is a pidgin, and we have so many, I would say so many publications. They study the pidgin in Riyadh and Kharj, and this is Al-Mu'ayli. He did his MA, PhD, and some publications, very interesting actually. He studied the pidgin in Riyadh and in Kharj. We have Al-Aqil, we have Al-Shammari, study the pidgin used in Skaka. We have people who work on Hayel, in Doha, in Kuwait, in Jeddah. Al-Ghamdi did a study about the pidgin used in Jeddah, and my previous study was about the pidgin used in Al-Ahsa. So people now know about the pidgin. Also, Versteeg, probably you know Versteeg. He did a good study, but based on secondary data. One of them is my first study. And actually, it was smart. His study, he analyzed the pidgin according to the use of verbs. Why? Why we have pigeons? Why we found us that, well, we have pigeon here. As I told you, yes, we have newcomers to work here. We have people from different countries with different languages. They need to have a way of communication, a means of communication. That's why we have that pidgin. We use the pidgin as Arabs. We use it. You speak it. We have to admit it. To make it easy, you find yourself, you speak the way they speak. You don't use your own dialect. So it's a pidgin. You use a pidgin. So you know a pidgin. And they use it between each other. You have a Filipino, one from Philippines and one from Indonesia. And when they speak, they will use that pidgin. So it's a form now. It's a lingua franca between us and between them. Okay, I will talk now about my current study, which I'm doing right now. Actually, I wanted to look at a variety of pidgin, a form of pidgin that hasn't been studied. I told you the one in Riyadh, Qasim, Al-Kharj, Jeddah, Imam, or Al-Ahsa, all these forms people studied, except the dialects in the West. So I decided to look at the variety used in Abha. At the beginning, I thought that it might be different because Abha is not a Gulf dialect. Even it's not, as a dialectologist, I won't say it is a Najdi dialect. It's between Najdi and Hijaz. So I said maybe it's different. It will be different in Abha. When I did that study, I found no, there isn't much different. They have similar varieties. So it is a stable form now. It's there, the same feature in Riyadh, the same feature in Jeddah, even in Abha, in Al-Ahsa. So I turned to study something else, which is multifunctionality. What do we mean by multifunctionality? I will tell you later, but let's say, let's look here. The previous study, I just mentioned it. The first study actually mentioned that there is a pidgin in the Gulf was smart. We have to appreciate this. Then we have Nas, then we have my study, we have Salem, we have Bakir. He has two studies about pidgin in Al-Doha. We have Al-Aqi, Al-Maili, Al-Ghamdi, many studies. Okay. Multifunctionality. Multifunctionality from multifunction. When we have, it's a feature of stable pidgins. Multifunctionality, when I have an item, a linguistic item, used for with different functions. For example, akil. Akil is a name. It's a noun. It's a noun. But in the pidgin, they will say, Mama, ana fi akil. What's this? Noun or a verb? Verb. And khalas fi akil, that means noun. So this is multifunctionality. A word can be used as a verb or a noun or different use. So I looked at this to see how far we have this. Musler actually points out that pidgins at an early stage of development have a lesser tendency toward multifunctionality. So when I see that there is multifunctionality in our pidgin, that means it is not in an early stage. It's a developed one. Okay, in my study, the recent one, I looked at multifunctionality, but I looked at definiteness and predication, then pronouns. 3 grammatical categories. I want to see how speakers of pidgins use items, linguistic items, in these categories. The methods, it's actually based on interviews. It's semi-structured interviews with 24 participants, speakers. They are Indian, Bangladesh, from Bangladesh, Indonesia, Philippines, and 29 hours actually were recorded. At the beginning, we had video tape, but they were not happy about it, so we stopped the video tape and continue with just recording. I had 2 assistants actually. This helped me to contact them, to arrange the meetings, and I haven't any contact before that, so I don't know them. It was difficult at the beginning. Then at the end, things were much easier. We were careful that we have not the same numbers, but not equal, but similar numbers, so we can see the features. We visit them twice, sometimes 3. Sometimes we need to call them over the phone when I wanted to ask about specific things. Their age between 26 to 45 years old. They spent about 6 to 9 years in Avram. They've been in Abha since they came, so they were not exposed to other dialects. That was one of the conditions at the beginning, because I wanted to see if there is differences between them. Most of the interviews actually took place in their place, at their work. Some of them were nurses, cooks, housemaids, also on hair salon, all these things. Of course, the interviews were informal. We started, how are you, how long have you been here, do you have children, do you miss them, blah, blah, to make things easy. But we asked them, how do you do that, what do you usually do? Start. Of course, I tend to use Arabic. Sometimes I use English with the nurses to explain just the purpose of the study, but at the end, when we talk, I keep using Arabic, and they use their pidgin. The interview took place during 2 visits to Abha, 2015 and 2016. Actually, I needed also to do another visit later than this. I use Olympus and Canon equipment to record and make the video tapes, and we use the WAV lossless format to save the data. Here are my participants, their language, their gender. Okay, so analysis and discussion. As we see in other pigeons, other forms of pigeons used in the Gulf, they do not pronounce all the Arabic sounds, of course. They do not pronounce the ha, they do not pronounce the emphatics, they do not pronounce the pharyngeal, alveolar, and emphatics and interdentals. So they do not say ta, they do not say ba, they do not say ta. These sounds, they use ta and sa and instant. So now definiteness and shared knowledge. This actually part I spent long time to make it clear and to write it well. If we look here, they do not use the article at all, except maybe in few words like اليوم, الولد هذا مشكل, but not always. Yeah, they do not say البيت, they will not say المدرسة, they do not use the articles. rare. So how they use or how they express definiteness, it's very important. I found examples like this. هذا كفيل أول في زعلان. Is it a definite كفيل؟ هذا كفيل أول في زعلان. Is it a definite? Is it? It's not هذا. It's not a demonstrative. هذا is not a demonstrative. It is used for shared knowledge. So she's talking about her kafil, her sponsor, previous sponsor, and okay, I have to read. So it is shared knowledge. It's like definiteness. هذا الكفيل أول في زعلان. The kafil wasn't in front of us, so she's not indicating specific someone in front of us. But I know him, she knows him, she's talking about him. Also, أنت لازم تشوف هذا مريض فوق. هذا مريض. هذا مريض. They both, the speaker and the listener, they know the patient was upstairs. So it's like different things. I must say, I have to stop. No. I must say that it was difficult to convince people about this. It's not definitely. So it is. It's shared knowledge, at least. So هذا could indicate definiteness. Also هذا could indicate demonstrative. We can say هذا بعدين كربان. So هذا this is demonstrative, clear. It's not definiteness. Interestingly, I found in Al-Maili, I think his PhD study, 2012, that speakers in Bengali, Punjab, Malayalam, they use a kind of suffix demonstrative for indirect definiteness. So maybe that's why they use هذا instead. Okay? Also, we have fee. How many fee do we hear in this pidgin? أنا في روح، أنا في أقل، أنت في زعلان، أنت في. So I looked at fee. It is actually it shows the multifunctionality. أنا في سيارة في كلي. Look at في سيارة. في it's functioning like what? Doing what before سيارة? بابا أنا في سيارة في كلين. في before سيارة doing what? definiteness. أنا نظفت السيارة. Specific car, their own car. So في here is used as definite article. It shows the definiteness here or shared knowledge. Also أنا في ملابس في قصر. في ملابس what? So specific clause, definite ملابس. So it shows definiteness or shared knowledge, as we say. أنا في صبح في قهوة في ساي في سوي. في قهوة في ساي. Specific, the coffee, every morning I make the coffee and the tea. So definite. So there is definiteness in the pidgin, because people who study pidgin, they say pidgins lack of definiteness. No, they use fi and they use hada instead. It's multifunctionality. Fi is not definite article. Hada is not a definite article, but they use it in this way. Again, with fi, we have fi as preposition. Fi also in Arabic, it's a preposition. And في المدرسة في البيت wherever. They will say هو في غرفة أنا. Preposition. أنا في مدرسة. This is clearly used as a preposition. But we have existential في. Existential for there is a boy. Existential. In Arabic, in Abha dialect, also in Majdi dialect, we have ba. We have مثلا ما بو خير صح. we use it in نجدي even in Abha. Also ما في خير we use it as existential but we don't know it. In classical Arabic, in standard Arabic هذا we don't consider it like this. They consider it جار ومجرور. Anyway, in the Pidgin they will say ما في وسق وازد. There is no a lot of dirt. ما في أكل, ما في موية, ما في مسكن. Existential. There is no water, there is no food, there is no problem. Okay? So they use it for existential item here. Okay? Although fi in Arabic is only preposition. Fi as a predicate, and this is again very interesting. They use it as a marker of predication. For example, if I say أنا في زعلان, أنا في زعلان, I am upset. بالعربي أنا زعلان. زعلان هنا خبر صح؟ أنا مبتدأ. In Pidgin they will say أنا زعلان. They will say أنا في زعلان. So it's a pre-predicate. They cannot. They can say أنا زعلان, but most cases they will say أنا في زعلان. It's difficult for them to use predicant without fi. It's easy. So it's a pre-predicant here. I will say هذا ماما في تعبان. هذا ماما في تعبان. So it's pre-predicant here. Also أنا ما في خدامة. Again, it's pre-predicant. Also, we can they can use it or they use it as a verbal, a predicate before verbs. For example, هذا السوق في سكر. ممكن نقول إن السوق مسكر. But here, سكر here is a verb. So they use it before the verb. هذا السوق في سكر. Also they say أنا في قول أول. قول is a verb. They use في before قول. So it's a pre-verbal here. أنت في شيء. خلاص أنت في شيء. You know, we have to put the note that أنت شيء past or أنت شيء imperative. And this is one of Versteeg notes. He said in Pidgin most of the verbs used in imperative. صح ولا لا؟ أنت في أنا في أنت في شيء أنت. They use imperative more than the past. It's rare to use the past or even in the present. So 5 minutes. Okay. So this is fi. If we look here. Here a table that shows the shared knowledge between Abha Arabic Pidgin and Abha Arabic. Shared knowledge using fi as a definite is not in Abha Arabic, not even in Arabic, but it's in the Pidgin. Preposition in both, existential in both, but predicate marker when it's verb, noun, adjective, it's not in Abha, but it's in the Pidgin. Pronouns, again, we can see multifunctionality. How many pronouns do we have? But in the Pidgin, they have only 5. They will use inta for feminine and masculine. They will use it for plural or singular. Also, inta, ana, inta, inti. They use inti, but not much. They will use inta, even if they are indicating female. Huwa for female and male, and here sometimes. So this is also multifunctionality. Use it for more than indication. أنت لازم شيل ماما. I will not say more examples. كله when they want to denote plural. أنت كله ما في easy. إن هو كله في روح. So instead of using plural pronouns, هو كله نوم, هي كله سفر, whatever. Okay, what about bound objects? قلمي, قلمكم, قلمها, whatever. They do not use it. What do they use? They use the free pronouns. كلام أنت, بيت هو, ولد أنت. So this is also multifunctionality. They use it for free to indicate three pronouns and also for possessive and attached pronoun. Conclusion. So here I can conclude that in this study I looked at the multifunctionality. I found generalization of functionality, extension, for example, the fee extend to indicate more grammatical functions, and neutralization in pronouns. They neutralize the use of 5 pronouns to indicate all the pronouns. For fee, it's used for preposition, is essential marker, marking adjectives, nominals, and verbal predicate. Also, it indicates shared knowledge. If you look here at the table, hada, fi, and the pronouns, I just chose this for this presentation, we see how they share, the function shared with between Abha and Abha Arabic and this pidgin. Hada is used as this and shared knowledge. It's innovative. It's not used in Abha hada as shared knowledge or as a definite particle at all. So it's something innovative. The fee, they share to just function existential of preposition, but they innovate the use of fee for pre-markers, pre-predicate markers as pre-predicate marker, and for shared knowledge or definiteness. 10 pronouns used in Abha, they became 5. This is neutralization. Kullu used to indicate plural instead of using the plural pronouns. I hope this study actually contributes to realize that the pigeons in our area, they have similar feature. That means they are stable. You will ask me, before you ask me, I don't think this pigeon will develop to be Creole, because to have it as a Creole, there must be a second generation. There must be a children. People who come here, they work and they leave. But the pigeons stay. People use it, but children do not use it. So there is no second generation, there is no third generation. I think that's all. If you have any question, thank you very much. Thank you for listening. I would like actually to thank Jonathan Owens actually here at the first draft. And actually he discussed the names with me, because I wrote that why people call it Gulf Pidgin. Because I saw in the publication most of the work they considered as Gulf Pidgin, even the Pidgin used in Riyadh and Kharj. I said it's not Pidgin. He said, why don't you use Peninsular Arabic Pidgin? I don't know, but I decided to use, in my study, this one, I decided to use Abha Arabic Pidgin. Maybe later on, someone of you will find the right term to indicate Pidgin. Because Gulf, if you look at Gulf Pidgin, there are other languages on the Gulf. The Persian language is used there, so it's not right to say Gulf. Beside Najdi, beside Hijazi, we don't consider them as Gulf, as a dialectologist, we don't consider. So it's a kind of fake. So in this study I use Abha Arabic Pidgin, and when I discuss, through my discussion, I use the Arabian Peninsular Pidgin. I prefer it rather than Gulf Pidgin. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Munira, for this interesting talk. We still have, I think, around 7 to 10 minutes for questions. So if you have any, please.
Could you turn to the male side, because I have a question here. Yeah, I have a question.